Yeah, it's a game of whack-a-mole down there. You get like a good outing from Leiter and then a bad one from Smiley, then a good one from Smiley and a bad one from Leiter, and then a bad one from Neris and another bad one from Neris. I don't know what to tell you, Cap. He has to go get a closer. That'll move everyone down a notch at least. He's got to do that. That's the one thing at least he has to do. That's obvious. Go get a closer. The sooner the better. I'm going to pivot, though, because that's the obvious answer, right? I mean, their bullpen ERA is 25th. They're 25th in clutch pitching. It's obvious they're blowing saves left and right. You have to fix that. However, let me pivot back to the offense. I was texting with a scout 2 nights ago about Neris. And after we talked about Neris, I said, what do you think of these Cubs and their deficiencies? And you know what he said to me? And it is obvious, but we never talk about it. He said, follow the money. Follow the money. I'm like, what do you mean? So don't forget, I know Mark Leiter Jr. was the goat, was the goat, the dog, whatever you want to call him last night. He's not the goat, but you know what I mean. He was the guy that blew it last night. He's making $1.5 million. Okay, everybody in that bullpen outside of Neris and Drew Smiley is making nothing, and Smiley's getting paid like a starter. Let's pivot back to this offense. Do you realize this offense has not scored more than 4 runs since last week? It's been 7 games. All month, they've done it a couple times only against the White Sox, and that doesn't count. And that came against their bad bullpen, not even their starting staff. Since June 1st, they've scored more than 4 runs once outside of those White Sox games, and it came on June 1st. These guys have $20 million, Suzuki $17 million, Swanson $25 million, Bellinger $30 million. I cannot continue to focus on middle relief, the 24th, 25th, 26th guys on a roster, when these guys are eating up the payroll and not doing their job. So, Cap, it's not just a couple relievers who are asked every night to hold on to 1-run leads. We have to pivot back to this offense, which has been putrid.
Yesterday they had, I don't remember the last time that this has happened, and I know Council's not a fan of the bunt. They bunted 3 consecutive at-bats, and it got them the only 2 runs. They got single, bunt, 2-0 Cubs.
And the wisdom backpedal like Baez didn't work out too well.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Backpedal toward home plate. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, isn't that tell us everything we need to know about that offense? I mean, that is peak Cubs 2024 offense. That's the first time since 2001 they bunted 3 times in an inning.
Explain to me, why is Patrick Wisdom on this roster? He led off the last the 2 games last weekend, 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts. Why is he in the game at third base and David Bodie's not with 3 hits the other day?
Yeah, I can't argue with you on that. I really can't. I agree with you. I mean, I saw your recap last night. The fact that we're relying on David Bodie at this point,
it shows you where we're at.
Yeah, but you're right. He's better than Wisdom. And I'm with you about Alexander Canario. I'm a big Canario got screwed over last year, and he's getting screwed over this year. Bring him up, give him some run, not at third base, but at DH, and let's find some offense and put a real third baseman there. I am with you on that. Absolutely. Look, they made a dramatic move with Madrigal, the 4th pick in the draft. They sent him down. It's time to make some dramatic moves, whether it be defensively or offensively or both, whatever it is. You've got to make some changes. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing night in and night out. I'm with you on all that stuff. I just can't continue to focus on the middle relief when there's so many other guys not doing their job, making a lot more money.
So I thought that there was going to be wholesale changes with the Cardinals by the time we get to the deadline. They come in here this weekend. They're 6.5 games behind Milwaukee, but they have been playing better baseball. What stands out most about the Cardinals as of late?
Yeah, they actually are getting better pitching than I thought, but they're starting to hit. Their young guys are starting to hit. It's not all about Arenado and Goldschmidt anymore there, and that's been key. Gorman and Donovan, the key won the game yesterday. They look just better. They're not elite. They're just better than they were and better than they were last year. And now, and I'm going to bring this up again, I brought this up to you last week, these games become even more important when you consider the season series is the tiebreaker. The Cubs are 0-2 against the Cardinals already this season. They've got the Giants right after that. They play their entire season series against the Giants in 1 week. You've got to win these season series when 1.5 games are separating the 8 teams in the wild card, basically. I mean, 1.5 games. So you've got to win these season series. This is a huge homestand. 9 games against teams that you can beat and 2 opponents who are in the wild card race with you. You don't get many 9-game homestands anymore with this new schedule. This is the time to really turn it around. We've been saying it for a while. There's really been no signs that they're going to turn it around, but it can happen at any time, J-Hood. But St. Louis is not the pushover they were last year or earlier this season.
Jesse, I'm looking at the Iowa roster. Can you explain to me on a team that is so bereft of talent, to use my friend Jonathan's word?
Iowa?
Canario has a 972 OPS. Brennan Davis has a 933. Owen Casey has an 860 OPS. Why are none of these dudes getting an opportunity?
It's one of those questions I don't have an answer to. I really don't, and I don't think Canario certainly himself and his they don't get it either. Like, you can't just bring him up and play him once a week either. I mean, when you bring up a young player and play him once a week and he doesn't succeed, that is telling us nothing. You've got to play them as much as you can. Bring him up and play him like you're doing with Pete Crow now. You have that DH spot open. You are terrible on offense. I can't answer why he's not up here and getting run at DH. I really can't. It makes no sense. I would suspect it's got to happen soon, like around the corner, very soon. You've got to try something else. And Canario is the first guy, to me, on that list that should get a chance. And if he fails after 2 weeks, fine. But he got no run from Ross last year, and he's gotten little run this year. The few times, he's really had anything, he's shown some massive power. I'm with you, Cap. It's a good question for Jed next time he speaks with reporters. I don't have a good answer for that.
I'll ask you, how much is this a showcase and how much is this an evaluation to keep some of these starters?
I think that's a great question. I mean, Crochet was unbelievable last night.
Mark it down, black it up down.
Yeah.
That's enough. Let him answer the question.
Yeah. I don't care about those guys. 116 strikeouts through his first 15 career starts. That's the most in White Sox franchise history through a guy's first 15. We're talking Blackjack McDowell. I mean, the whole history of the franchise, 116. Listen to this. He's given up 55 hits in 82 2/3 innings. So you talk about showcase or keeping them. Why aren't we talking about keeping him? He's 24 years old. In my head, I thought he was a little bit older. Like, I think of him as older because for whatever reason. But remember, he debuted the year he was drafted in 2020. Why are we thinking of trading Garrett Crochet and not locking him up? Now, having said that, the haul keeps on going up the way he's pitching. Left-handed starters, flamethrowers that can strike out guys the way he is, and he's showing durability in his first career season as a starter. The haul is starting to move up, like not just one top 10 prospect, a couple, including a top 5. So I get the idea of trading him, but I also get the idea of locking him up. And that's not something Jerry Reinsdorf does very often, though. So I guess we're back to what that haul is going to be, and I'm starting to ask scouts, and they are just giving me, the emojis, the excited emojis about Garrett Crochet. When you add up everything about him, his age, being left-handed, the way he can strike guys out, that is very attractive around the league.
Fetty, Thorpe, Cannon, Crochet, giving you quality all the way across the board, Cap. Pretty good.
Yeah, now will they do that all the way through the end of September?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to that, but there is no chance I'm trading Garrett Crochet for anything short of like what Juan Soto was able to be traded for. I'm not doing it, Jess. I need more Garrett Crochets. That SOB is a beast.
Yeah, he really is. 24 years old, so just getting into his own here. Let's go.
If he was 31, it's a different argument.
Yeah, that whole all those guys, none of them are over the hill. I mean, it's just that they have so many holes around their position players. I get what Getz is going to try to do, but
I give him Swanson and Gomes, and if they want to maybe take a prospect.
That won't end well for you. It's a Cubs Sox trade.
That's true.
Let's not do that.
Swanson will hit 38 home runs the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, what you couldn't ask more from him. I mean, first-time starter on a bad team, and he just keeps on mowing guys down. So it has been a good week on the mound in that sense. The Mariners can't hit, and that ballpark is great for pitching. That 19 strikeouts, overall last night, I think that tied a franchise record or was one off a franchise record for the Mariners. They're a first-place team. So Crochet had 13 of them. Just great stuff there. It's just too bad, you might have to trade all those guys. I wish they wouldn't. Starting pitching is such a foundation. For some reason, the Cubs have that, but they have nothing else. It's so weird to be so bad when you actually have starting pitching on both sides of town. But the teams have so many holes elsewhere that their records aren't that great. So can't say enough about Crochet and Fetty and even Thorpe's first start. So excited to see Thorpe in his development because I'm a big fan of him as well.
Is Jed going to speak today over at the Confines, or is that not happening today?
I don't know the answer to that. Usually he does speak the first day back, but because night game and, they traveled, it could be Monday. Sometimes it's a Monday. Many times it's a Monday when they come back from a road trip for the weekend. So my guess is Monday. Don't have the answer. So it's either today or Monday. It'll be one of those two things.
Well, I want you to ask him, Jed, you got guys that are playing well in the minors. Unless they're trade chips, why would they not be brought up with a chance to play when your freaking offense does nothing?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I asked that about 3-4 weeks ago, and he gave me that it's still a little too early. And I understand
Dansby.
I understand 2 months of at bats, but right, exactly. It's not May. It is mid-June now. That is not early. That is not early when you're inching towards the halfway point and you pretty much stink. In one area of your game offense. That's not early anymore. I'm not saying it's late, but it's not early. So I think the answer has to be different come today or Monday when next time he talks.
Jesse, lastly, can I get a clean sound bite from Jesse? Thank you. Jesse, lastly, was it last week? I just know that we saw the Yankees-Dodgers series, which I thought was, as always, compelling because you don't see them face each other very often. This weekend, it's Yankees-Red Sox. How important is that series to baseball today in 2024? Because every sport has them. Is Yankees-Red Sox as compelling today as it has been in the past?
No, the answer is no. I mean, you need both teams to be compelling. We've seen that with the Cubs and Cardinals over the years. I know here it's compelling, and in Boston, New York, it'll be compelling. It's not the same. Boston doesn't have many stars. They're not that good. No, it's not as compelling. The Yankees-Dodgers was the series of the year. So it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. Of course, ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball, they're gonna jump on it, but it doesn't have the same ring to it as it did when both teams are good. I think we've learned that over the years. As much as the rivalry locally is important, it's not nationally unless both teams are contending.
Have a great day, Jesse.
All right, boys. Talk to you Monday.
Get your guy Leiter in line. At least he spoke.
Yes, and he wore it. He did wear it.
He did
wear it. It wasn't a great outing, though. All right, guys. Talk to you.